Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us today on our main news bulletin. Let's go straight to look at the top stories that are making headlines. Lusaka businessman Shadrach Kasanda arrested in connection with the gold scandal. TIZ rates UPND's 2 years office as moderate. LCC go-slow enters day 2 as workers continue pressing for unpaid salary arrears. In international news, Tripoli-based Prime Minister warns militia groups against further clashes. And in sports news, NAPSA stars beef up squad ahead of 2023-2024 season. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Do join me with the details shortly.
On Monday, 23rd August 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest, Kelvin Wariafube, KBF, Zambia Must Prosper Party President.
Sometimes in life you have to learn when it is time to let go. And this is why sometimes people go back on their words. I don't want to go back on their words.
As they discuss UPND 2 years in office, what are the failures and successes of the government in power? Watch and subscribe to Camnet Television Network on DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 25, Topstar channel 106. Camnet Television, your #1 community station in Zambia. This is your channel of choice. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you for staying with us, and now the news in detail. Calm has returned at Lusaka City Council LCC offices as workers entered day 2 of a go-slow, demanding payment of close to 4 months' salary arrears. The workers on Wednesday held a sit-in protest before storming the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development offices to seek an audience with Minister in charge Gary Nkombo. A check at Civic Center on Thursday found the premises in near quietness, with workers confirming that the go-slow is ongoing despite Minister of Local and Rural Development, Mr. Nkombo, addressing the workers late afternoon on Wednesday. The Zambia Congress of Trade Unions, ZCTU, recently urged the government to address the problem affecting local authorities in the country if the much pronounced decentralization policy is to succeed.
Who's working for Lusaka City Council because I'm not being paid.
Okay. Now the question to answer
basic necessities, we can't even meet them because we are not being paid.
And these are the things that
so what's the way forward?
After seeing a hype of activities on Wednesday, CAM has returned to the Lusaka City Council LCC. On Wednesday, hundreds of workers held a sitting protest demanding a way forward from the Zambia United Local Authorities Workers Union, Zulao leadership on the continued non-payment of salaries. A check at Civic Center Thursday found workers peaceful but confirmed in confidentiality of being on go-slow as no solution was achieved on Wednesday, despite a reported address from the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Gary Nkombo. Efforts to get a comment from Town Clerk Brighton Imbaimbai were unsuccessful as he was reportedly in a meeting. The country's mother body of trade unions, Zambia Congress of Trade Unions, ZCTU, recently urged government to find a lasting solution to the troubled council.
There are about 15 councils across the country who haven't been paid, and we want to urge government to come in so that these struggling councils are bailed out.
The non-payment of salaries at LCC continue on the backdrop of anticipated increased revenue collection by the institution after removal of cadres in its facilities such as bus stops and markets. The Local Government Service Commission in 2022 equally carried out a human resource audit to ascertain numbers and competencies in a quest to bring efficiency in revenue collection. Therefore, such occurrences at LCC bring into question the potence of the exercises done using taxpayers' money if the institution cannot pay its employees to deliver services to the public in Lusaka. More so, implementation of the decentralization policy through increased Constituency Development Fund, CDF. For Camnet News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
The Drug Enforcement Commission Director General Nason Banda says the 2 airplanes involved in the gold mafia will be moved from the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport runway to a better holding place where they will be kept safely for exhibition as evidence before the court. Mr. Banda, who briefed the media at the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport on Thursday, says the 2 airplanes are intact as opposed to allegations that they have disappeared from the airport. Dr. Banda says the matter will soon be taken to court as the investigations have advanced. Meanwhile, 1 more person has been arrested in connection with the matter, bringing the total number of those arrested to 14. Details in this report.
This is the Global Express T7WW, on which over 5.6 million United States dollars, 602 pieces of suspected gold, 5 pistols, 7 magazines, and equipment used to measure gold were confiscated by the Law Enforcement Agency on Monday, 14th of August 2023, after it landed here at the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport in Lusaka, Zambia. On the opposite side of where this plane is parked is another King Air B190 belonging to a named local airline, which has also been seized in connection with the same scandal. Contrary to the assertions that the plane is missing from the airport, a check by Camnet News at the airport Thursday morning found the plane intact, and the Drug Enforcement Commission Director General Nason Banda explained that the 2 planes will be removed from this part of the airport to a safe location where they will be kept as evidence before the courts.
Now, almost in fact, we're moving them from here completely because they are now going to be subject of court. So they will no longer be for the... Where are you moving them? We may decide. You want to come for one of them. We'll decide where to keep them safely. Should the court need them, they should find them there. Yes, because when they are exposed like this, they're not going to be safe.
The mineral which was found, have you established where it is from?
Where it is from? Yes. Yes, it was found in Zambia. It came from, they're supposed to move on to the aircraft from Zambia. Here. Is it from Zambia? It must be from Zambia because it was from Zambia. You know what I'm saying? It was supposed to move onto the aircraft from, it was moved from onto the aircraft from this airport. Here.
So it means it was processed from here?
Yeah, but I don't have from mine. It was moved onto the aircraft from here. The rest of the details you get them when you get into court very soon.
Meanwhile, Mr. Banda says the matter will soon be taken to court and that the names of all those involved will soon be publicized as investigations into the matter have reached an advanced stage.
And convey the message to the people of Zambia that nothing has gone missing. They are here. We're going to appear, we are taking this matter to court very, very soon. Then all the details will come out. And that's all that I said. We arrested 1 more person today. Yesterday we were at 13, which means now they're supposed to be 14.
How many females, how many males?
They're all males.
For now, the incident has left more questions than answers, and the people of Zambia are curious to get to the bottom of the matter, considering that huge sums of monies are involved while the economy grapples with lack of liquidity. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
New Congress Party leader Peter Chanda has alleged that the United Party for National Development, UPND, has failed in its fight against corruption, as can be seen through the gold scandal. Mr. Chanda tells Camnet News that the UPND administration have lost credibility and the chance to be champions in the fight against corruption. He has since called for an early election to allow the Zambian people make a decision whether to allow the UPND continue to govern, starting on a fresh page.
Shows that whilst President Hakainde Hichilema and his government are fighting corruption, there is grand corruption happening behind the scenes. The young man from Mirunga talked about it 2 weeks ago, about a plane carrying gold, and the Zambian people thought he was just politicking or saying things out of malice or anything. And it has been proved beyond reasonable doubt. The biggest challenge that we find with the new Donor administration is that they don't understand governance. Looking at how the Minister of Mines came out, when DEC confirmed to the Zambian people the findings that were there, Of course, we knew, we heard about the $11 million that was there. Of course, we know that it is not just one plane that landed and the other plane landed and took off quickly. The governance should not be about chipante-pante. Let's be consistent. So my call is that the New Dawn administration, you've lost authority in the fight against corruption as a result of the airport saga. Secondly, you need, the many promises that you gave the Zambian people have not been fulfilled. So what you need to do now is to simply call for an early election so that the Zambian people can give you the fresh mandate if you are still popular, or the Zambian people can elect the government of their choice.
Kanyama constituency has awarded 270 grants and 50 loans to cooperatives and clubs under the Constituency Development Fund CDF since 2021. Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Kanyama Area Member of Parliament Moti Chinkuli said through the loans and grants, more than 1,000 people have been impacted as group comprise a minimum of 10 members. Mr. Chinkuli has since disclosed that the constituency will commence to work on drainages to alleviate the suffering of citizens as a result of flooding experienced every rainy season. Details in this report.
As the United Party for National Development UPND-led government clocks 2 years in office on August 24, 2023, Kanyama Member of Parliament Moti Chinkuli has described the period under review a success. Mr. Chinkuli says through increased Constituency Development Fund, his office has impacted so many lives in the area.
We have, as Kanyama, we have given out about 274, grants to the people of Kanyama. So, just to break it down, if you look at those groupings, the minimum is 10. So if you multiply 10, we just want to work on the minimum. We look at 10 times 276 clubs that have been empowered. We are talking about 2,760, somewhere there. Those are the individuals that have received the grants.
Mr. Chinkuli has, however, bemoaned the failure of CDF beneficiaries to publicize the program to enable others to benefit.
We are looking at a situation where those people that have received so far should be the pioneers, should be the light, to encourage others to come forth and apply.
Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Chinkuli said the constituency has also embarked on a number of construction projects such as clinics and police posts. He added that the constituents will soon commence construction of drainages to address perennial flooding which affects residents in the area.
Before rains start, those drainages will be cleared where we are able to cut and plaster. That will be done. And I don't think this time around the challenges that have been facing, they have been going through previously, will be the same this year, because we are able to I'm right on the ground.
With the UPND-led government commemorating its second-year anniversary on a few days from now, critics have slammed it for failure to reduce the cost of living, which they claim was a trump card to its victory in the 2021 general elections. For Camnet News, Afyas Kaptula, Lusaka.
A joint investigative team has detained Lusaka businessman Shadrack Kasanda for alleged involvement in the alleged gold and millions of dollars that were impounded at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport. Mr. Kasanda was picked up from his residence in Ibex Hill after his house was allegedly raided in the early hours of Thursday, 2023. Mr. Kasanda is currently in the hands of the Joint Investigative Team officers for interrogations.
Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security Jack Mwembu yesterday, Wednesday, 16th August 2023, directed the Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, to be the only authority to issue statements regarding the gold scandal which was impounded at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport. On Tuesday, 15th August 2023, DEC Director General Nelson Banda announced the seizure of a private plane carrying $5.7 million in cash,
602 pieces of suspected gold bars and 5 pistols with 126 rounds of ammunition. But different to what was revealed by the Commission, Mines Minister Paul Kabuswe later on Tuesday in the afternoon announced that the minerals found in the seized chartered aircraft are not gold but a combination of copper and other minerals. As the court of public opinion awaits proper answers on the scandal, a Lusaka businessman, Shadrack Kasanda, has been detained by a team of joint investigative officers after they allegedly raided his residence at around 03 hours on Thursday. The Camnet TV news crew that rushed to the scene found some of the family members outside the premises as the investigative wings were conducting their search. Kasanda, who recently kept social media buzzed when he flashed money at a Chilanga Mulilo, could not comment at the time he was being detained from his residence, but the family members tend to ask questions.
Yes, the pizza. The weapons, what is coming?
We want to know where he's going. We want to know where he's going. Where are you going? We want to know where he's going. That's fine. That's fine.
Shortly after being unbundled on the vehicle of the investigative officers, the chase was on as everyone attempted to know where Kasanda was being taken to.
Let's go!
By broadcast time, Kasanda was reportedly being interrogated at the Joint Investigation Team offices in Lusaka. While this action is happening at the time the UPND administration is celebrating its 2-year anniversary, is it also time to have the Access to Information Bill enacted? The Court of Public Opinion, for now, can wait on the next action the authorities are going to provide. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Former Ministry of Defense Permanent Secretary Stadi Mwale has asked the Lusaka Magistrate Court to refer the matter in which he is charged for willful failure to comply with the law in relation to the procurement of a presidential jet to the High Court for determination know whether he will be granted a fair trial or not. Mr. Mwale, through his lawyer Leon Lemba, informed the court that his client, while serving in the government, had sworn an oath of secrecy and has an alleged to the president. This is in a matter in which Mwale is jointly charged with Isabel Chinji, Mike Mbewe, Evaristo Sakala, Frank Sinyangwe, and Dr. John Piri.
Former Ministry of Defense Permanent Secretary Stadi Mwale has requested the Lusaka Magistrate Court to refer the matter in which he stands charged for willful failure to comply with the law about the procurement of a presidential jet to the High Court for determination of whether he will be granted a fair trial or not. Mwale's lawyer, Leon Lemba, informed the Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate, Davis Chiwili, that Mwale, while serving in government, swore an oath of secrecy and has an alleged to the president. In this matter, Mwale is jointly charged with Isabel Chinji, Michael Mbebe, Evaristo Sakala, Frank Sinyangwe, and Dr. John Piri. The former Defense Permanent Secretary is charged with 3 counts of willful failure to comply with the law, applicable procedures or guidelines relating to procurement, and 1 count of corrupt acquisition of public property, while the others are facing 1 count of willful failure to comply with the law, applicable procedure or guidelines relating to procurement. In count 1, it is alleged that Mwale, Chinji, Mbebe, Sakala, Sinyangwe, and Dr. Piri, between March 1st and April 4, 2017 in Lusaka, being persons concerned with management and use of public revenue as members of the Ministerial Procurement Committee for the Ministry of Defense, jointly and whilst acting together without following tender procedures, did willfully fail to comply with Section 52(1) of the Public Procurement Act No. 12 of 2008 when they awarded a contract for the modernization of defense forces to Elbit System Limited without bid evaluation. In the second count, it is alleged that Mwale on September 27, 2017 in Lusaka as Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Defense did willfully fail to comply with Section 58(1) of the Public Procurement Act No. 12 of 2008 in the manner he authorized and signed to amend a contract the Ministry of Defense and Elbit System Limited for the modernization of defense forces without prior authorization from the Ministerial Procurement Committee. In count 3, faces the offense of failing to comply with Section 57 of the Public Procurement Act No. 12 of 2008 when he failed to appoint a contract manager for a contract with the Ministry of Defense and Elbit Systems Limited for the modernization of defense forces. In the other count, a former defense controlling officer is alleged to have between March and 27 September 2017 fraudulently facilitated and made payments amounting to $50 million to Elbit Systems Limited for goods and services not supplied or rendered in full, namely medical evaluation facility on the Gulfstream G650ER jet and upgrading the said jet from a single mission passenger business jet to a multi-mission aircraft as per the contract. When the matter came up for commencement of trial Thursday before Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chiwidi, lawyer representing Mr. Mwale, Leon Lemba, said he is having challenges to represent his client adequately because of the oath of secrecy his clients took. In response, State Prosecutor Daniel Ngwira submitted that the defense must raise their application by way of summons and an affidavit. Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chiwidi has adjourned the matter to September 20th, 2023 for hearing of the application and 27th September 2023 for ruling. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Still in court news, the Lusaka High Court has set September 7, 2023 as date to hear former First Lady Esther Lungu's application on whether or not the matter involving 15 double-story flats is properly before court, having been commenced by way of a notice of motion. The former First Lady submits that the relief sought by the state to have the flats in question forfeited to the state is premature. Here's a report.
Former First Lady Esther Lungu will know her fate as Lusaka High Court has set September 7, 2023 to hear the application on whether or not the matter involving 15 double-story flats is properly before the court, having been commenced by a way of a notice of motion. Mrs. Lungu argues in her submission that the relief sought by the state to have the 15 flats forfeited to them is premature, as it requires prior establishment that the property is tainted. The former First Lady is seeking the court to declare whether or not the matter is properly before the Economic and Financial Crimes Court because of the fact that the said court, constituted by the Chief Justice through Statutory Instrument No. 5 of 2022 as a division of the High Court, is contrary to Article 133, 2 and 3 of the Constitution of Zambia, Amended Act No. 2 of 2016. In this matter, Director of Public Prosecution DPP has applied to the Economic and Financial Crimes Court, High Court Division, to have the seized 15 double-story flats allegedly belonging to Esther Lungu forfeited to the state, but according to Emmanuel Kondowe, a senior investigation officer at the Drug Enforcement Commission Anti-Money Laundering Investigations Unit, Esther contracted 15 double-story flats and other associated facilities at a cost of 24,256,434 kwacha against a non-income of 3,104,487 kwacha. Meanwhile, the former First Lady submits that the action has been commenced by way of originating notice of motion, which is contrary to provisions relating to the prescribed mode of commencement of action. When the matter came up for hearing Thursday, 17th August 2023 morning, before the Economic and Financial Crimes Court, Lusaka High Court Division, the state asked the court for more time to prepare its reply to the former First Lady's notice and raised a preliminary issue. Esther Lungu's lawyer, Charles Changano, says the court will on September 7, 2023, hear Esther Lungu's preliminary issues raised as the state did not manage to reply.
So the state did not reply to the preliminary issues.
So we have given them time. They requested for an adjournment, and we have given them time. We have not opposed that because we want them to attend to the preliminary issues, the constitutional reference, and the preliminary issues. So the matter has been adjourned. The court has agreed that being in the first trial court, the matter is coming on 7th September for hearing both preliminary issues which the interested party has raised. Yes, one constitutional one and two preliminary issues.
The matter has been adjourned to 7th September 2023 for a hearing of both constitutional reference and the preliminary issues which the interested parties have raised. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
A Lusaka-based clergy, United End Times Ministries pastor George Piri, aged 30, has been acquitted by the Lusaka Magistrate Court on the case he was accused of raping an 18-year-old congregant. The Lusaka magistrate, Ida Piri, ruled that from the evidence, the victim, who had been seen coming from a lodge in a joyful mood with the married clergyman, was not forced to engage in the sexual act. Speaking shortly after being acquitted, the clergy expressed happiness that the court acquitted him.
Na judgment ya zoona, so ningoti mulungu alemekezeke ndive ngakambisha. Amen.
Bati nvazoona kuti mnamugwira uja mwana.
Sinamugwire be ni bedtime ogwira muntu pendiri pa ngakugwira. Ati
anavomera?
Yes, anavomera.
Is there a relationship?
Yes, relationship, very good relationship.
Yes, how many years relationship?
Inakala about 3 years. So
okay. Wakazi wa nsenzo iziwa?
Benze kuiziba ninkani yamene zibika na madamu ninkani yo zibika izo zibika kambe so namta forgive kudala vimashitika.
So manje relationship ngapitilize olo nasira kudala
kubeve ninga kamba pale this time because ninga so mind ya muntu monga according to events anakalipa vanga kalipa mwini wake. Then siningazive but only God and namwini wake mchiko kwa mtima but kulile dibe problem.
Manje papa why muma preaching akuti ni kunkana na mkazi umozo why mwenzi na wakazi babili?
Si wakazi babili kupa kama malizo la mashitika mu nyumba sometimes you can marry second wife.
So mwanzo kuna mkwati la the second wife?
Yes.
But muzafu no pitiliza na relationship yaka ena.
Sini muzako ali this time around mana kamba kudala and the best access na eve and since the guys na eve, so what can I say?
Why mufuna wa second wife?
It's okay.
Adbanja so.
Why mufuna wa second wife?
Mwena kamba kudala kulimalizo la mashitika manyumba sometimes. Mina mangalingese kuti nokote second wife. I don't think so, it's a sin.
So wakazi wanu waliko kuno?
Bali kunyumba.
In other news, the Center for Policy, Trade and Development, CTPD, has urged the Zambian government to use the 2024 national budget as a tool to revitalize the country's mining sector. CTPD lead researcher Elijah Mumba says the center is concerned with the slow responsiveness of the mining sector to the tax incentives it was accorded in the 2022-2023 national budgets, which has affected tax revenue collection from the sector. Mr. Mumba says despite favorable tax adjustments for the sector in 2022 and 2023 budgets, including reducing company income tax from 35% to 30% and allowing mineral royalty deductions for CIT calculations, results have not been good enough. The center has since made proposals to the Zambian government on how to help improve the mining sector beyond the tax incentives.
the Center for Trade Policy and Development, we are calling on government to use the 2024 national budget as a tool really to revitalize the mining sector. You know, like many stakeholders, we are concerned with the slow responsiveness, obviously, of the mining sector, you know, to some of the tax incentives that we saw accorded in the 2022 and 2023 national budgets. And this slow productivity, you know, in the mining sector has consequently affected tax revenue performance, you know, which ultimately affects the total amount that the government is able to derive in terms of revenue.
You are watching Camnet TV's main news. We now take a facet of commercials. Do join me for more news after this break.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too, me.
Ah, no, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there. From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those replacement and huge consumption of our Zesco units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
On Monday, 23rd August 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest, Kelvin Wariafube, KBF, Zambia Must Prosper Party President.
Sometimes in life you have to learn when it is time to let go. And this is why sometimes people go back on their words. I don't want to go back on their words.
As they discuss UPND 2 years in office, what are the failures and successes of the government in power? Watch and subscribe to Camnet Television Network on DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 25, Topstar channel 106. Camnet Television, your #1 community station in Zambia. This is your channel of choice. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you for staying with us. We now continue with the rest of the news. The Transparency International Zambia says the UPND government has performed moderately in fulfilling its manifesto and campaign promises in the first 2 years in office. TIZ chapter president Priscilla Chansa told a media briefing in Lusaka that in relation to upholding the rule of law and enhancing economic management and management of public resources as part of good governance, the UPND performed moderately. Ms. Chansa says during the past 2 years, the UPND government has managed to negotiate a debt restructuring deal with support from the International Monetary Fund and other money lenders. She says this has been a significant achievement given its potential implications on the country's economic recovery aspirations. She says her organization has noted significant strides made by the UPND government in addressing political violence and cadreism. Ms. Chansa, however, says that some pockets of politically motivated intimidations have persisted, as seen in some violence in by-elections, as well as storming of radio stations featuring opposition political party leaders.
That's the upholding the rule of law and enhancing economic management and the management of public resources. As part of the good governance environment, we've rated the UPND administration performance as moderate and high, respectively. We have noted that there have been significant strides made in addressing political violence and cadreism, even though pockets of politically motivated intimidation have persisted, as seen in the flare-ups of violence during by-elections, as well as the storming of radio stations featuring opposition political party leaders. On the economic front, the UPND has scored our highest rating, following improved fiscal discipline on the basis of which the economic recovery program, supported by the International Monetary Fund, was agreed and signed. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our overall assessment that the UPND administration has fared moderately in fulfilling its manifesto and campaign promises in the first 2 years of its mandate. We also take cognizance of the fact that the manifesto promises were largely crafted in broad terms, with no specific articulation of when they would be achieved, which has enabled the regime to highlight that they have a 5-year mandate in response to any criticism about their failure to fulfill campaign promises. While it is commendable that some progress has been made on several campaign promises, it is also clear that there remains more that the UPND needs to do in order to actualize what they promised the people of Zambia, especially on the anti-corruption and good governance landscape. In that regard, it will be beneficial to the citizenry for the UPND to improve their communication regarding not only the commitments they have fulfilled or are on the way to fulfilling.
Katundu Lukulu Watopa Road has been in a deplorable state since independence, and people find it difficult to transport their goods and service facilitation, hence the urgent need to improve the road. Oliver Kabuku, a tipper truck driver and one of the regular users of the road, has made a passionate appeal to those concerned to take remedial measures. More in this report.
Katunda Rukuru Road has never been worked on since the country attained its independence in 1964, despite it being an important access road. The road not received attention from successive government. This has prompted the locals and motorists to make a demand that the government works on the road. Oliver Kavoko, a tipper truck driver and one of the regular users of the road, spoke to Camnet News.
With this road, it has been there since independence. So we are appealing to the government that at least, since the new Dawn government is a government which is working for the people, they're supposed to come and rehabilitate this road, because looking at the condition, look, the way the road it looks, it has to take me maybe 5 to 7 hours, whereby I can even it was supposed to take maybe 2 hours or 1 hour 30 minutes. So we are appealing to the government that please, we voted for them and these people also voted for the government of the day. So it's better we work on this road instead of, since in 1964, before independence, up to date, the road is still looking like this. We'll be very happy if this road will be done according to how you said us. You promised us that when we vote for us, we are going to do Katunda Road. There are so many roads which are not even in a good condition, which are in a deplorable. You see my friend there has stuck for 3 days in this same road because of the potholes and the condition of the road. And now also me, I'm going to the same direction where my friend has stuck for 2 days. So please, we are appealing to you, a listening government, that work on this road so that this road can be like other roads in other provinces like it.
Other road users have expressed similar statements.
Muso, kwana kuli mkwama bampo ni maluli bazamaika ho kwana kuli baziyelehira bazamai hande
Yulu nalwa kupakwa muso ingele lensizo nyelu ya ye moto katalo na za wanga luli kusinya watu kushwa watu foku mawona shale lukupakwa muso balutuse kwa teni unafaa luka ya mali lensizo newe ile kwa basanga kugisa mo baluna na twanu na balu wakalezi bali baubea kilili bakawubea
kabune baluna luya kwa lukulu ulifaulu ma transport kakutula kono kama performa process for kuswani isete kwenda kulife ka cheap price my drivers bank advantage.
The Rukuru stretch is about 190 kilometers, but since independence these people still move on a gravel which is in a deplorable state. Musia Wakabira reporting for Camnet News in Kaoma District, Western Province.
In other news, Minister of Education Douglas Siyakalima has expressed skepticism on the accomplishment on the presidential directive of ensuring that no pupil sits on the floor by December 2023. Dr. Siyakalima says the free education policy has resulted in an increase of pupils in schools, which has made it difficult to plan for the required desks. Speaking during a press briefing on Wednesday, Dr. Siyakalima, however, said the government is committed to ensure that every pupil sits on the desks as a continued process.
Where are you going to take those more than 2 million children who are now back in school? A classic example is Mufurira district. Before the declaration of free education, there were 40,000 kids. Just after the declaration, there were 80,000 kids in school. 2 weeks ago, I went to Mufurira to go and evaluate how many kids are now. 87,000. Where were you going to take the 47,000 kids? Just at a district level. The entire Copper Belt has more than 1 million kids in school. You were breeding vagabonds. You were breeding criminals, junkies. Today we are complaining about junkies around here. They had no space.
The Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, working with regional agriculture bodies, has called for strong national mechanization strategies to counter the effects of climate change. FAO Mozambique country representative Jose Fernandez echoed that the scaling up of conservation agriculture requires all partners in the region to work together. Mr. Fernandez reminded regional agricultural bodies such as the Center for Coordination of Agriculture Research and Development for Southern Africa and representative from member states of the task given to them by the African heads of states under the Malambo Declaration of ensuring that at least 25 million farmers are climate resilient by the year 2025. This came to light during a Conversation Agriculture Working Group meeting held in Maputo, Mozambique, under the theme Climate Resilient Production through Mechanized Conservation Agriculture. At the meeting, Zambia is being represented by officers from Ministry of Agriculture, Conservation Farming Unit, and FAO Country Office.
Conservation agriculture has emerged as a promising solution for sustainable farming practices in Southern Africa. One key factor that could significantly speed up the uptake of conservation agriculture is mechanization. It is against this backdrop that the Food and Agriculture Organization, working with its partners, convened the Conservation Agriculture Regional Meeting under the theme Climate Resilient Production through Mechanized Conservation Agriculture.
They tasked us to ensure that at least 25 million farmers on the African continent are climate resilient by the year 2025. At this point, the question is, how far have we gone towards meeting this target? I do here hasten to say that within the SAC region, it will appear that countries with a strong policy and institutional support through conservation agriculture, including South Africa and Zambia, have been posting positive and stable food production gains over the past decade.
The need for member states to develop national strategies that are inclusive was also top on the agenda.
The role of women and youth and other vulnerable groups, even in conservation agriculture, is of paramount importance to all of us here. One of the key things that has been left out there is actually the mechanization aspect. In the wake of these challenges, there has been this aspect of formulating the national agriculture mechanization strategy. Not necessarily that we do not have it in the policies. The policies is there.
By addressing the challenges associated with traditional farming practices, mechanization paves the way for increased adoption of conservation agriculture among smallholders in the region. Reporting from Maputo, I'm Dorcas Kabuya.
Still to come in the news, Tripoli-based Prime Minister warns militia groups against further clashes. I will be back with the details as well as some sports news after this break. Don't go away.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
On Monday, 23rd August 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest, Kelvin Wariafube, KBF, Zambia Must Prosper Party President.
Sometimes in life you have to learn when it is time to let go. And this is why sometimes people go back on their words. I don't want to go back on their words.
As they discuss UPND 2 years in office, what are the failures and successes of the government in power? Watch and subscribe to Camnet Television Network on DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 25, Topstar channel 106. Camnet Television, your #1 community station in Zambia. This is your channel of choice. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you for staying with us. And now in international news, Libya's Prime Minister warned Thursday that he would not tolerate any further militia clashes following the bloodiest bout of fighting to rock Tripoli this year, which killed at least 45 people. Prime Minister of the Government of National Unity, Abdul Hamid, made the statement at a meeting of Tripoli elders, saying that touching civilians is forbidden. He added that if rival militants are not calmed down, then there will be more decisions regarding them. Here's a roundup of international news.
Libya's Prime Minister has warned that he would not tolerate any further militia clashes following the bloodiest bout of fighting to rock Tripoli this year, where at least 45 people have been killed. The Prime Minister of the Government of National Unity, Abdul Hamid Dbeibah, made the statement at a meeting of Tripoli elders on Thursday. I tell you that if their rival militias do not calm down and they are not satisfied with a conciliatory solution, as he is one of your sons, there will be other decisions regarding them. What is going on? Every day they cause trouble on the streets. Every day causes a war. Every day, people are terrorized. People's lives are no longer the same. There will be other measures against them, and we have to be harsh. Dbeibah's statement came as Mahmoud Hamza, a commander from the powerful 444 Brigade, was released and returned to his militia headquarters in Tripoli, according to footage broadcast late Wednesday across Libya.
This Tunisian farm laborer leaves for the fields at 5 a.m. to avoid the blistering heat as she works on the land. The average global temperature in July, the hottest month in recorded history, was around 1.5 degrees Celsius, warmer than the pre-industrial times. It's very hot indeed. Sometimes I get dizzy. We bring cold water, but it heats up quickly. Anyway, we have to keep working. We've got no choice. Extreme heat kills thousands of people every year, and everyone has a different threshold depending on their age, health, and other social and economic factors, experts say. People who have to work outside in the sweltering temperature are also more at risk. We women protect ourselves from the sun by wearing a veil and a large hat. We start work very early, hoping to get home early before the temperature gets too high. As of the time she was interviewed in July, the North African country was going through an intense and unusual heat wave with temperatures hitting 50 degrees Celsius in the shade in the capital, Tunis.
Haiti's most powerful gang leader warned Wednesday that he would fight any international armed force deployed to the Caribbean country if it committed any abuses. Jimmy Cherizier, best known as Barbecue, also urged Haitians to mobilize against the government. If they, foreign intervention forces, do like the UN peacekeeping to Haiti in 2004, if they start raping girls and boys like the troops from Uruguay, or if they bring cholera like the Nepalese soldiers that killed 20,000 Haitians, if they come to the community ghettos and start shooting and massacring, we Haitians will rise up and fight them to the last drop of blood. It will be a fight of the Haitian people to save our dignity and our country. Prime Minister Ariel Henry has been pushing for the deployment of a foreign armed force since October to help fight powerful gangs that are estimated to now control around 80% of the capital of Port-au-Prince.
And now in sports news, NAPSA Stars Football Club has announced the signing of 2 players, marking a significant step in the team's preparation for the 2023-2024 season. NAPSA Stars Media and Public Relations Officer Gwen Chipasalu told Camnet TV Sports that striker Seth Sakala, who most recently featured for Saudi Arabian side Al Lewa, has joined the club for what will be second spell after playing for the Pensioners during the 2016 season. Chipasalu says Sakala joins on a 1-year deal and is expected to inject new energy and skill into the NAPSA Stars forward line. She says the club has also signed Nigerian striker Nazim Amokachi, who is the son of Eagles legend Daniel Amokachi, joins from Nigerian Premier League side Lobby Stars FC on a 2-year deal. The Pensioners, who finished 5th place on the log last season, are all set to kick off the 2023-2024 MTN Super League season this weekend with an electrifying home match against Zesco United FC.
Welcome. Playing in the Premier League, I joined NAPSA, and I'm very happy to be back to my mother club, and I'm hoping to do as I did when I left Manchester. What's your achievement of the club? Hopefully we can play good, we can finish in the top 4 so that we can be we can play the Breakfast Cup and also the configuration of the Champions League. Well, I am here there to make sure I help the club to achieve the goal, especially the young players that haven't gone to play professional football outside Zambia. And hopefully they can learn more activities that are playing outside. So that's what I can contribute to the club.
We try to improve every day and help ourselves get to the highest possible position and win the league. So just to give my best, obviously I'll try my best to provide and also score as many goals as I can. Just keep doing my best, train well, see what happens. The position is not too different, just a bit more intense, I would say, more running here. Except for that, the quality of the Zambian league is good.
That item brings us to the end of the news, but before I go, here are the top stories making headlines. Lusaka businessman Shadrack Kasanda arrested in connection with the gold scandal. TIZ rates UPND's 2 years office as moderate. LCC go-slow enters day 2 as workers continue pressing for unpaid salary arrears. In international news, a Tripoli-based prime minister warns militia groups against further clashes. And in sports news, NAPSA stars beef up squad ahead of 2023-2024 season. We now look at the Camnet verse of the day coming from the book of James 3 verse 18. Peacemakers who sow in peace raise a harvest of righteousness. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.